The sun hung high in the sky, casting a warm glow over Chicago's Grand Park. Thousands of eager faces filled the space, each person buzzing with excitement and hope. It was a day marked on calendars, a day where words of justice and equality would echo far beyond the city limits. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a beacon of hope for many, was set to speak, and the crowd was electric with anticipation. As people gathered, conversations flowed like a gentle river, weaving stories of struggle and resilience. Families huddled together, friends clasped hands, and strangers exchanged smiles, united by a common cause. Banners waved proudly in the breeze, each one carrying messages of peace and love. The air was thick with a sense of purpose, a promise that change was possible. Among the crowd, Gloria Mitchell stood with quiet strength, clutching a photo of her son who had been lost to police brutality. Her heart felt heavy as she looked down at his smiling face, a stark reminder of the pain she carried. While others around her were caught up in the excitement of the rally, Gloria's mind was filled with memories of her son and the injustice that took him away. As the time drew closer for Dr. King to take the stage, a hush fell over the crowd. People shifted their attention toward the podium, but Gloria remained still, her eyes fixated on the image in her hands. Just then, Dr. King appeared in the distance, moving with purpose through the throng of people. Instead of stepping onto the stage as planned, he paused when he noticed Gloria amidst the sea of faces. The moment felt almost surreal. It was as if time stood still. With compassion etched on his face, Dr. King made his way towards her, stepping off the path of the podium to embrace her pain directly. This decision would soon lead to an unforgettable moment that would resonate deeply in the hearts of many. Gloria Mitchell stood surrounded by the lively crowd, but she felt a world away. Her heart was heavy, filled with grief that mingled with the hope in the air. Clutched tightly in her hands was a photograph of her son, a young man full of dreams and promise, now lost forever due to senseless police brutality. She looked down at his smiling face, a moment frozen in time that brought both warmth and pain flooding back. The image captured a time when laughter filled their home, when her son was just beginning to make his way in the world. In that photo, he was carefree, radiating joy and vitality. But that joy felt like a distant memory now. Every time she glanced at the picture, tears threatened to spill over as she remembered the dreams he had, dreams cut short too soon. Around her, the crowd cheered and rallied together, voices joining in songs of freedom and justice. Yet Gloria's thoughts were a whirlwind of emotions, swirling with sorrow and determination. She remembered the terrible night when she lost him, the calls for help that went unanswered, and the empty words of condolences that followed. Though she wanted to be part of the movement for change, the wound in her heart often made it hard to participate fully. In her mind, she replayed the painful moments, the laughter turned to silence, the joyful gatherings that would never happen again. For Gloria, this rally was not just an event, it was a reminder of what she had lost, and what so many families like hers continued to endure. As she stood there holding the photo, she knew she wasn't just a spectator. She carried her son's story with her, a testament to the lives affected by injustice. In that moment, she felt both alone and connected to everyone around her, mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters who shared in the struggle for justice. This rally was a call for healing, and she hoped that her son's memory would shine brightly among them all. As the crowd surged with excitement, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stepped into view, his presence commanding attention. The air buzzed with anticipation, yet amidst the vibrant energy of the rally, he noticed a face that starkly contrasted the joyful scene before him. It was Gloria Mitchell, standing still, picture in hand, her expression heavy with sorrow. In that fleeting moment, time seemed to pause as he recognized not just a woman mourning her son, but a mother embodying the pain too many families had endured. Dr. King's heart stirred within him at the sight. He understood instantly that Gloria's grief echoed beyond her own loss. It resonated with a community that had been fractured by violence and injustice. The image she clutched spoke volumes, a testament to a life that had been cut short and the mother's heart left behind. While his mission was to inspire hope and change, he could feel the weight of her sorrow pulling at him, reminding him why they were gathered that day. As he approached her, the noise of the crowd faded into a soft murmur, replaced by a connection that felt personal and powerful. The strength of Dr. King's gaze held Gloria's heart steady. A silent understanding passed between them. He was not just a figurehead or an orator in this moment. He became a compassionate ally in her struggle. The crowd swelled around them, but for Gloria, it felt as if they were alone in their shared space of grief. Dr. King reached out and took her hands gently in his own, palm to palm, weaving their stories together in that poignant instant. This gesture was more than a symbol. It was a promise of solidarity and empathy in a world often filled with indifference. As the warmth of his grip enveloped her, Gloria could feel a flicker of hope igniting within her, a reminder that her son's life was not just a memory that faded away but a spark that would contribute to the ongoing fight for justice. In that profound connection, she found strength amidst her heartache, and together they stood as beacons for change, united in purpose on this pivotal day. Dr. King stood at the edge of the crowd, feeling the energy pulse around him, but his heart drew him in another direction. The podium awaited him, a platform from which he could deliver words of hope and inspiration. Yet, it was not just rhetoric that would heal the wounds of a broken community. It was genuine connection and understanding. As he spotted Gloria Mitchell's heavy gaze fixed on her son's photo, something deep within him shifted. He stepped away from the anticipated applause and cheers that greeted speakers at rallies. Instead of moving toward the microphone, he took measured steps toward Gloria, his eyes locked onto hers with unwavering compassion. In that moment, Dr. King chose to embody the very principles he preached: unity, empathy, and love for one another. The cheers around him faded into silence as people sensed a shift in focus. Their leader was prioritizing a personal connection over a public performance. As he walked closer, Dr. King could see the layers of grief etched across Gloria's face. Her sorrow was palpable, a reminder that behind every statistic were real lives touched by tragedy and loss. He understood that this moment was far more significant than any speech. It was about standing in solidarity with those suffering from injustice. The crowd watched intently as Dr. King approached Gloria, leaving behind the stage set for grand speeches and embracing a raw moment of humanity instead. His recognition of her pain turned an ordinary rally into something extraordinary, a collective acknowledgement of grief shared among many. When he reached her side and took her hands gently in his own, the world around them seemed to hold its breath. This simple gesture spoke volumes. It conveyed his commitment to fighting for justice not just through powerful words, but through heartfelt actions. Here was a man willing to step off the pedestal to walk alongside those who hurt most deeply. In that shared space of grief and healing, Dr. King demonstrated that true leadership lies in compassion and connection, reminding everyone present that they were all part of this great struggle together. As Dr. King reached Gloria, he gently took her hands in his, the warmth of their connection radiating through the crowded park. This simple act spoke volumes. It was a gesture that transcended words and captured the essence of their shared sorrow and struggle. In that moment, Gloria felt a wave of comfort wash over her, as if the weight of her grief was being acknowledged by someone who truly understood. The crowd around them fell silent, captivated by this intimate exchange. Dr. King's grip was firm yet tender, conveying solidarity and empathy. He looked into Gloria's eyes with a depth of understanding that seemed to bridge the gap between their different lives. He, a prominent leader fighting for justice, and she, a mother mourning a tragic loss. This moment embodied unity in its purest form, reminding everyone present that they were all part of the same fight against injustice. With every heartbeat, the connection between them deepened. It was as if time stood still, allowing everyone to absorb the significance of what they were witnessing. People around began to reflect on their own experiences with loss and heartache, recognizing how deeply intertwined their stories were with Gloria's. The rally transformed from a mere gathering into a collective moment of healing. Dr. King's presence brought hope not just through his words but through his actions. By holding Gloria's hands, he demonstrated that genuine leadership involves listening to the pain of others and standing beside them in solidarity. It was about creating space for compassion in a world filled with division. As he continued to hold her hands, Gloria felt empowered. The warmth of his touch ignited within her a flicker of hope, a reminder that while her son's life had been cut short, his legacy would live on through the fight for justice they were all pursuing together. In this sacred exchange, both Dr. King and Gloria became symbols of resilience against oppression, uniting many hearts in their quest for change on that pivotal day in Chicago's Grant Park. As Dr. King held Gloria's hands, a poignant silence enveloped the crowd, creating an atmosphere charged with emotion. The air felt thick, as if time itself had paused to honor this moment of connection. Eyes from all around were drawn to the two figures standing amidst the sea of people, one, a grieving mother, and the other, a leader dedicated to justice. In that silence, the weight of their shared sorrow became palpable, transcending words and fostering a deep sense of empathy. People in the crowd exchanged glances, their expressions shifting from anticipation to profound understanding. The usual sounds of the rally, the cheers, the music, and the chants for change, faded into the background, leaving room for reflection and solidarity. Each person present could feel the bond forming between Dr. King and Gloria, serving as a reminder that they were not alone in their struggles. This was not just about one woman's grief. It was a collective recognition of pain experienced by many families affected by violence and injustice. In that stillness, hearts began to connect on a deeper level. It was a moment where individual stories merged into one larger narrative, a narrative of resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. The quiet allowed attendees to process their own experiences with loss and injustice, inspiring them to think about how they could contribute to the fight for change. As Dr. King continued to hold Gloria's hands, he embodied the empathy that was vital for healing not just one family but an entire community seeking justice. The gesture emphasized that true change begins with understanding and compassion. In that shared silence, everyone felt empowered to stand together, united against oppression. As Gloria found comfort in Dr. King's presence, others felt encouraged to reflect on their roles in this movement for justice. They understood that moments like these were crucial. They were where healing began and where hope took root. And so, as they stood together in silence, each person became part of a larger tapestry woven with threads of shared sorrow, resilience, and unwavering determination for a better future. As the silence lingered in Chicago's Grant Park, the crowd began to process the emotional gravity of what they had just witnessed. Dr. King's gesture of compassion toward Gloria Mitchell illuminated the shared grief that many individuals carried within their hearts. This quiet moment resonated deeply, transforming feelings of anger and sadness into a powerful sense of hope and healing. The crowd, once filled with a cacophony of voices demanding change, had become a unified entity, reflecting on their own experiences with loss and injustice. Eyes glistened as they recalled personal stories, friends lost to violence, families shattered by oppression, and dreams extinguished too soon. In sharing this space of sorrow, they recognized that their individual pain was part of a larger, collective narrative of resilience. As Dr. King continued to hold Gloria's hands, the warmth between them acted like a balm for many hearts in the crowd. Inspired by his empathy, attendees began to feel the weight of their grief lift slowly away, replaced with a flicker of determination. They understood that this moment was not merely about mourning, it was about transforming that pain into action and unity against injustice. With each passing heartbeat in that hush, individuals felt emboldened. They began to envision what could arise from their shared strength. A community coming together not only to honor the memories of those lost but also to fight vehemently for change. The hollow ache of sorrow transformed into a rallying cry for justice that echoed through their spirits. As the larger narrative unfolded around Dr. King and Gloria, attendees found hope sparking to life within them. It became clear that profound moments like these, where humanity reigns above all else, can ignite movements born from love rather than hate. This realization deepened their resolve to stand together against oppression. In that fleeting yet eternal silence, bitterness melted away, leaving behind a tapestry woven from threads of pain turned into purpose. Together, they became architects of change, ready to carry on not just Gloria's story but the stories of countless others who endured similar injustices, each person vital in crafting a new chapter toward justice and healing in their community. The powerful encounter between Dr. King and Gloria Mitchell held significant implications for the civil rights movement, exemplifying how personal stories can serve as catalysts for collective action. In a world often dominated by statistics and headlines, it is the individual experiences, the heartfelt narratives of loss and struggle, that resonate most deeply within people's hearts. This moment highlighted the importance of placing human experiences at the forefront of the fight for justice. As attendees reflected on Gloria's story, they found themselves inspired to share their own. The rally became a platform not just for speeches but for a chorus of voices echoing shared pain and resilience. Each person could relate their personal story to a broader narrative of injustice, realizing that they were not alone in their struggles. The connection fostered by Dr. King's empathy created a sense of urgency among participants, encouraging them to unite in their demands for change. This encounter illustrated how one person's grief could mobilize an entire community. It reminded everyone present that behind every struggle for civil rights lies a multitude of stories waiting to be told, stories that carry immense power to inspire and galvanize action. When individuals come together to share their pain, it transforms into a collective force capable of challenging systemic injustices. Moreover, Dr. King's choice to prioritize Gloria over the podium emphasized the value of compassion in leadership. His actions modeled how leaders should engage with the people they serve, listening to their stories and embracing their humanity. By doing so, he ignited a flame of hope, allowing those present to envision a future where their voices could collectively reshape society. As the rally progressed, individuals began to see themselves as part of something larger, a movement fueled by shared experiences and mutual understanding. They recognized that they were not mere spectators in a struggle but active participants shaping history through unity and solidarity. The moment between Dr. King and Gloria Mitchell became emblematic not only of personal healing but also of the collective ambition for change within the civil rights movement. It reinforced the idea that every voice matters and that together, they could weave their narratives into a powerful tapestry of resilience, inspiring generations to come in the fight against injustice. As the rally began to wind down, a palpable sense of empowerment lingered in the air. The poignant connection between Dr. King and Gloria Mitchell had illuminated the gathering, reminding everyone present of the essential role that compassion and understanding play in addressing social issues. This encounter served as more than just a moment of healing, it became a call to action for those who witnessed it. In a world often divided by differences, Dr. King's choice to prioritize human connection showed that empathy can bridge gaps and foster unity. Many attendees left with their hearts transformed, realizing that their individual stories mattered and could contribute to a collective strength. They felt inspired to advocate for justice not only on behalf of their own experiences, but also for the countless others who had suffered similar losses. The message was clear. True progress in the fight against injustice is built on the foundation of shared humanity. When people come together to listen, share, and support one another, they cultivate an environment where healing can take place. As each person reflected on their own struggles and those of others around them, they recognized the power of solidarity in effecting change. Moving forward, participants understood that compassion must be at the forefront of any movement for social justice. It was this compassion that would help turn sorrow into strength and fear into courage. By embracing understanding, they could create a future where voices are heard, stories are honored, and lives are valued. As they departed from Grant Park that day, the crowd carried with them not just memories of grief but also an invigorated sense of purpose, each individual empowered to stand up against oppression in their own way. They were reminded that while challenges lay ahead, they were not alone in their journey. Together, they could weave a stronger narrative filled with hope and resilience. The legacy of that day would ripple forward, inspiring generations to champion justice through empathy and understanding. In essence, Dr. King's interaction with Gloria Mitchell became a powerful symbol of what could be achieved when people come together with open hearts, a united front against inequality, and a commitment to building a brighter future for all.